Okay, we're here at the Shoebox Gym in Northampton, which I have to say is one of the warmest gyms I've ever been in, heating wise.
It's warm.
We're here obviously with Eithan James, the Jammy Dodger of the super lightweight division. How's it going, Eithan?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just finished up morning sparring with the boys and now back in tonight.
Now this is the very start of preparations for November 6th back in Birmingham at the Utilita Arena, correct?
Yep.
Now that was obviously where you had your sixth professional fight, only recently, against Matar Sambu, who was 1-3 over 6 rounds. Happy with the performance?
Yeah, probably the best performance to date. I've been told that by a lot of people, and I don't think the lad got a lot of credit that he deserved. He went to a lot of qualifications for the Olympics prior to turning pro, so I knew he was a decent lad, and I thought I'd done a good number on him. Like, rarely caught me, and my foot movement was just too much on the night.
What stood out, I think, from a personal point of view, was how relaxed you were in the ring as an operator. You're very sort of silky and smooth, and then in comparison to your previous fight, now the previous fight, people might be aware, was your first 6-rounder, and when you got to 4 rounds, you decided to test out your energy levels, plant your feet a little bit.
Yeah.
You weren't quite happy with the results of that, so you kind of went back to normal?
Yeah, obviously we try different things just in case we're going to come up against people that are going to stick it on me and I want to trade. So at some point I am going to have to stand there and trade with people, but I know and my coaches know that we can do exactly that. So obviously we're maturing as well, so that's why we're seeing more relaxed in the ring. Our fitness is getting better every time we go into camp, and it's all the preparation's going well.
Now part of that being more relaxed meant you actually had a period of that fight with a lovely combination of shots that possibly could have got him out of there.
Yeah, he was a very tough lad. Like, he took the shots very well, but there was a moment there where I wobbled him, he went onto the ropes, let my hands go, but then I thought I don't want to get caught with silly shots and make silly mistakes, so we just pulled back, and we knew we had a couple more rounds to go, so just went in there and enjoyed it.
You had so many people there making a noise. I suppose you kind of wanted to give them a full 6 rounds of entertainment.
Yeah, there was about 200 people going up, so it's good to get all the support from Northampton coming up as well. So hopefully they'll be back on the 6th of November, but hopefully a couple hundred more would be nice. I think we're going to do an 8-rounder for the next one, so hopefully get more people down for a bigger event.
A doubling of the support would really be quite something. I mean, the development of a following, as everyone knows, is key in boxing, and you seem to be mastering the art.
Yeah, it's coming along. Obviously Northampton isn't a big boxing town. Like, we've got a lot of good lads coming through. Obviously, you know, we've got Kieran, we've got me, we've got a couple of other lads, we've got the Fails, we've got some lads from the gym. Like, it is starting to pick up, and that means that the more people involved, the more following there's going to be, more people jumping on with other boxers. And it's happened with me. I've got the Cobblers following now. I've got some of the Cobblers boys coming up. So hopefully they all bring their lads, get more and more coming along, and then we'll start filling out stadiums.
When you say a Cobblers following, are you talking fans or players?
Fans and players. We had some of the boys in the gym a couple of months back come and did a session with us. We've got the Saints as well. We had Courtney Laws in a couple of months back, just around Christmas time. So they're all jumping on the bandwagon when they see we're doing well, and we'll start supporting the boys as well. So
quite organically, locally, you're becoming gradually better known all the time.
Yeah, more people are starting to recognise and get behind the gym as well. Obviously this gym weren't here a couple of years ago, so it's the first pro gym of Northampton, and it's starting to pick up and got a good thing rolling, and it's only going to progress in the next couple of years.
Before I take you back to your amateur days and your list of accomplishments, which is really quite something, what was it that took you into boxing in the first place?
I was a naughty kid when I was young.
Really?
Yeah, very naughty. Don't see it now, but I was. I was naughty at school, and then one of my teachers, if I was good, I get to punch some pads at the end of the day, and then I started doing well from that, and he said I should start joining the gym, and rolled on from there. So I went to my first boxing gym. Then I went to King's Heath, where I won all my titles with James and Arthur, and then I moved on to the pro game, went down to London, and the rest is history.
So when you say naughty, were you aggressive naughty or just mischievous naughty?
A bit of both.
Really?
Yeah, I was a really angry kid when I was younger. Don't know why. Just probably didn't like school, but
you couldn't be further from that now, could you?
Nah, I'm cheeky now. Nice. Don't like violence. But yeah, we've all changed.
So obviously, when you linked up with James, obviously it's your trainer James Conway. I've just made a note of it here because I had forgotten, to be honest. As I remember writing the release for your signing, and I actually called it up yesterday. And 5 times national title winner, gold in the Commonwealth Youth Games, 2 times Tri-Nations winner, winner of the Haringey Box Cup, and perhaps probably as big as anything, silver in the Europeans.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, or have I got it all?
Could have been gold in the Europeans. Bad decision, but we won't say anything else.
Was it?
Yeah, no, it was. I thought I won. A lot of other people thought I won, but I was a junior. I don't really mean anything back then, but
76 fights, only lost 5. You were successful, weren't you?
yeah, I was doing very well in the amateurs, but I was struggling with the work. I couldn't cope with working and training at the same time. It was taking its toll. And in my last year of being amateur, I didn't really go to plan how I wanted it. Probably due to not getting enough training in, but I've changed it up now. I've gone pro. Everything's working, so that's in the past, and we're getting as much training as we can now. It's a good start.
You're not getting away from the past quite that easily.
Okay.
When you won all this stuff, and you were thinking about turning pro, was there not a temptation to maybe, before you turn pro, test out the seniors for a year?
Yeah, like I said, I did have one senior fight, and I was in the championship, so I lost in the quarterfinals. Weren't my best performance, nowhere near, but give it a go. I probably could have stuck around for longer, but obviously it weren't something I was interested in. I was losing love for the sport, if I'm honest, back then. But then obviously changing up the scenario every night now, being a pro is a big event. Everyone's getting behind you. It's a big occasion every time you're out. So it's more enjoyment. The training's different. You're training full time. And because I'm enjoying more, my performance is getting better. So I think I just needed to switch it up a little bit to get the love back for the sport. And now you're starting to see it in performances.
Given that you're a Northampton boy, and you enjoyed such a successful upbringing in the sport, what was it that took you down to your first training base in Bromley at the iBox gym? Why did you not think to stick around because you had a professional gym here on your doorstep?
So when I was turning pro, the gym weren't here at the time. There was James and Kieran. They were just turning pro, but the actual gym itself weren't actually a gym. So there weren't really pro scene around here. But I knew Dennis from the England circuit and Dennis McCann, from going around nationally and out, Tri-Nations, Europeans, all that sort of stuff. So I knew him very well. He actually came to our gym for a bit, train with us. So I was good mates with him. And I was coming home from work one day and I didn't like it. I got bollocked by my boss, so I didn't want to carry on working. So I gave Dennis a call, asked him what to do, because he'd only just turned as well, so he'd obviously been through it all. So he went down there, sorted me all out, got me with Al, got me with Eddie, got me with Paul. They were perfect. They were exactly what I needed for the time being. Obviously, my plan was to stay with them, but obviously, it was a bit of a problem travelling, so it weren't the best solution for me at the moment. But then coming back here,
just to interrupt there, given that you said you were falling out of love with it a little bit, did maybe having that change of scenery with Al and Bromley maybe reinvigorate you a little bit?
Yeah, changing up the people you're hanging around with. Obviously, all the lads are on it from the beginning. They've done exactly the same thing as me. They've come through the amateurs, they've come to the pros, and they're doing exactly where I want to be, training full time. So changing it up with the boxers as well, probably more than the coaches, brings you on, being around people that want to be at the same thing, at the same level as you.
It was a real young group at the time as well, wasn't
they were all between 18 to probably 26 max. And they had a lot of good boxers in there. When Lerone was there at the time, Richards, he was there. Obviously we had Sam coming through, Sam Notes, we had Henry, got Michael Burke, Ginge, we had Dennis. We had a good little group down there, a good youngster group coming through. Like I said, the travel was killing me. I went down and spoke to them. They knew exactly what the situation was, but we're here now. We're doing better. We're moving on.
I mean, obviously, I think everyone will understand. Anyone who does any road travel in this country will understand what you were up against. I mean, you're potentially looking at 150 miles round trip or more every day.
Yeah, about that. It was 117 there, 117 back. So and that's without traffic.
240, plus a lot of hours taken out of your life sitting in.
Weren't getting enough training
traffic.
I was not missing sessions, but I wasn't able to get the sessions in the morning, the sessions in the middle of the day, and then the night sessions. I weren't getting as much training as I need to. Obviously, early just starting out in your career, you're doing 4 rounds. It's not good. You don't need it as much when you're early on. But we're moving through the ranks, fighting better people, doing more rounds. I'm going to need them extra sessions to push me on, and that's what I need.
Now then, you decided to come back to Northampton. Did Mr. Conway have any reservations about taking you back?
I hope not. None to that he said, but I've been with him since I was young. He knew what I'm capable of, and I know what's capable of from him. Do you know what I mean? We clicked well, and you can see that from the last 4 fights. A couple of fights, but it's all going well. We're progressing well. and I know he's been doing good things with Kieran, and he's been doing good things with the other lads as well. So it's a
When you
comfortable
turned
environment.
pro, he didn't really seem a viable option because he didn't have the facilities and everything that he's got now. It was just, he was a bit of a nomad with Kieran, yeah?
Yeah, like he was doing his own thing with Kieran. He was doing well with Kieran. Like he had British title before I come here. Like he had his shot with Ted Cheeseman. So they're doing good things, but it was just there weren't a facility. Boxing wasn't big in Northampton at the time, so it's hard to go in places, getting on good shows when they've not got a big following. But it's all going well at the moment.
Now you've got 10 pros.
Yeah, 10, and we've got about 200 members in the gym, like keep fitters, amateurs, and all that sort of stuff.
No, it's a good atmosphere, and obviously you're coming on. I mean, I think you've had 2 fights now. The 2 6-rounders have been with James, haven't they?
Yeah.
Given that you said but you're relying more on your boxing, that is what you're all about. I was a little bit surprised when you were sparring just then to see that you were sort of moving in for a little tear up. I mean, up close and personal, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're mixing it up in the gym. Just testing out new things, because obviously there's going to be lads that are going to put it on me different, do you know what I mean? They're going to come and stand and trade with me, or like they're going to stick it on me, so I'm going to have to learn to do that. But the lads in the gym know what it's about, and like it's just training at the end of the day, but we love a good scrap.
Now, I suppose eventually, as your record grows, people will look at the knockout factor. I mean, you think about it yourself every now and again, or joke about it, but your first 4 opponents were your kind of typical roadmen in boxing, your Fons Alexander, Daryl Pearce, that sort of thing. The last 2 have probably been a little bit more open to having a scrap. Do you see this just as a development for you? The more people open up, the stoppages will come.
Yeah, I've seen it in my last fight. The more the opponents are going to come and like throw shots at me, I'm going to find the gaps to hit them with the good shots. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm probably not a big puncher, but I'm getting the good rounds in, and I'm only going to mature and develop. I'm only 21. Like, I'm nowhere near got my man strength yet, and when I hit my peak about 25, 24, you'll start seeing a couple of stoppages. I'm not sure I'd say that they will come. It's just it's when they're going to come.
Yeah, I mean, given that you were such a successful amateur, you know, you would have obviously had an amateur style which worked in that format. Did you find any difficulty transferring your skill set across to the professionals? Or if so, what were they?
Probably from the start, it was probably a bit difficult to slow the pace down a bit, but obviously that will just come with the more rounds you're doing, the more experience you're getting. But I kept what was winning me fights and what won me titles as an amateur. I wouldn't want to change what's winning me fights. I'm not going to stand there for 12 rounds and have a tear up and hopefully take someone all the way like that. I'm going to use my footwork and use my boxing that won me national titles, won me European titles, to the pro rank, and see if I can obviously adapt them a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to go all out moving for 12
Were you
rounds.
bouncing around a bit at first?
Yeah, probably, yeah. A lot of feet movement, a lot of twitching, a lot of high pace stuff. But down there, London, they slowed me down. They got my feet good. Like, just pacing was probably the main part of changing it.
What are you looking to develop, say November 6 and onwards, you know, into next year? What are the key areas that you're thinking, this is what I need to do to take myself to the next level?
Probably a bit more of a mature performance, so obviously get caught with less of the silly shots, and obviously, hoping that I'm getting a good opponent, like they're going to come on me and like, not going you're going to get hit in boxing. Hopefully I can avoid that as much as possible, but not getting caught with the silly shots that I know I can not be caught with. But obviously change up my performances when I know I need to, sort of thing, so not just sticking to the same thing all the time, mix it up, work inside when I need to work inside and work on the back foot when I need to work on the back foot. So just being a bit more smarter, really.
I suppose it's like, from a fan's point of view, if you've got a fighter where you know exactly what you're going to get from round 1 to round 6 or whatever the roundage is, I suppose it can get a little bit tedious to watch, can't it? You don't want to be that one-trick pony, do you?
Yeah, it's not just for me as well, it's for the crowd. Like, obviously, I'm in there to do my job, so when I'm in there, I'm not thinking about what anyone else is thinking outside of the ring. I'm in there to win. But then again, I don't want them to keep coming and just, he's doing the same thing, he's being boring, he's doing all this. That's why now and then I give a little bit of showboat and for the crowd and that. But obviously, that's just for entertainment. But obviously, I want to switch it up so people aren't just getting bored of watching the same thing. But yeah, again, boring wins fights, and that's what I want to do. I just want to keep winning fights. As long as I keep winning, people aren't going to be able to look away from me. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, people will never complain about that. If you're up against a level of opponent where they don't mind what you have to do to win, do they? So, I'm fascinated. You've got sausages on your arm. What's happening there? Just show it to the camera a little bit.
Butcher's Block, Meat Man. He's one of my sponsors. He gives me all my meat for free camp and that, prep camp.
And sponsored by a butcher.
Sponsored by everyone.
Give me a little shout out.
We've got Kennington Process Limited, Darling Barbers, KGT Logistics, Wing Spot in Northampton, Cam's Construction, AM Waters, HBM Plumbing. We've got loads, Delpy Roofing.
And all these people are making sure you don't have to go to work.
Yep, they're letting me like full-time trade now, so it's all good.
And what was the job you hated so much back in the day?
Roofing. It was working for him. But nah, he's one of my dad's best mates, so he knew the crack anyway. He's been around amateur scene with me. He'd come to watch me. He sort of pushed me away from work to get into boxing because he knew what it was.
So you were up on top of people's houses putting tiles on and all that?
Not the best for in the winter. In the summer it was lovely, you'd get a tan.
Any little scares or slips?
Nah, I fell through a few roofs, but nothing too bad.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't fall through the batten and that, but nothing too bad.
Now just finally, there's one thing that fascinates me a little bit. Given that you've got the look of a sixth form college student, fair comment?
Yeah.
Despite the beard.
Looking.
And you say you're a nice guy, all that cheeky. How do you flick into meme mode when you've got to go face to face with people? Do you ever just sort of think you're going to go burst out laughing?
When it comes to fighting, I'm quite serious. Like, something just switches inside me. Like, can I ask a couple of boys in here? I've definitely got the nasty side to me. Can I ask Ben? Me and Ben have had a couple of nasty scraps in here, but when you get out of the ring, it's a job. When I'm in there, no one's stopping me. I'm in there to do a job. If they're trying to rough me up, I'm going to give it just back to them. I remember when I fought Chris Pilkington back in September last year. We kept hitting each other around the back of heads, whacking each other, and then the ref had to pull us apart. And we just started laughing at each other. But at the end of the day, it's a job. I'm in there to win. I'm not going to let someone take that away from me.
So some of these opponents might sort of think, blimey, I'm going in against a schoolboy.
Yeah. Well, my box rec photo made me look proper young. It was when I was about 15, so they put that on there. So everyone that was taking a fight and looking at me, they probably thought, yeah, fucking hell, this can be easy. But now they've changed it, so I look a little bit older. I still look like a kid though.
You want to keep it like that, mate, believe me. Eithan, it's been great catching up with you, visiting your gym. Now, just one more final question. People might notice there's a big shoe in the back on the wall, and this is called the Shoebox Gym. I've only just worked out, is this something to do with cobblers and shoes in Northampton?
Yeah, Shoe Army.
Shoe Army, is that what they're called?
Yep, Shoe Army. They're the followers of cobblers. And they're going to be following me, they're going to be following the boys. They've already started cheering it back in Birmingham, and they're going to be cheering it again on the 6th of November.
The Shoe Army. All right, Eithan, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Speak to you soon. Take care, mate.